Good evening and welcome to the June 3rd, 2025 meeting of the Spackenkill Union Free School District Board of Education. Please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item 2.01 is comments from the public on consent agenda items only. Do we have any public comments on consent agenda items this evening? Okay, any board discussion on consent agenda items?
Sure. Wow. Sounds louder than the past. Upgrade our sound system here. I just have a very quick question about item 316, the policy 5500 regarding student records, so I guess we'll pull that.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to pull 3.16 from the consent agenda.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, passes 5-0. Any other items up for discussion?
I'd also like to pull 3.13 for discussion.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion then to pull 3.13 from the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Passes 5-0. Anything else? No? Okay, I'll ask for a motion then on accepting the consent agenda, absent item 3.13 and 3.16.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, well, Richard, you were first, so 3.16. First
Okay.
reading of policy 5500 for student records.
Yeah, it's just a very small question. First of all, I appreciate the updating of these policies and the chance to review them in due course. So my question is just a very small question. So in the text of the policy, and this is really, I think, an existing line, but in the section entitled, I guess, newly entitled surveys, it's previously section 1, there are, 8 bullet points there. And then the 7th bullet point item, well, just to contextualize it, the sentence that sets up the bullets is, in accordance with law and board policy, parent-guardian consent is required before requiring minors to take part in surveys which gather any of the following information. And then there is a listing of 8 different types of information. And the 7th one reads, religious practices, affiliations, or beliefs of the student with the student's parent-guardian. And I'm just not sure what the last part of that clause means, with the student's parent-guardian. Is that just, it seemed opaque to me. And is the idea that this would be beliefs of the student that the student shares with the parent-guardian? I'm just at a loss as to the distinction there.
Was that a section that was existing?
It was an existing section. The only change in that bullet was to add guardian to parent at the end.
Richard, which page?
So it's on page 1 of the policy. It's in the section entitled surveys. So this is policy 5135.
I thought it was
3.17.
Oh, well, I was going by I guess there's several that are coded 5500, but it says SPAC policy 5135, sorry, yeah. So I guess that's like a subtitle. So it's 5135, student privacy.
Okay,
So
this is 3.17 then?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have to, I
is
think
it?
we'll just rescind what we just did and then we'll pull.
Oh, I circled the wrong one on the agenda. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is 317, you're right.
Why don't we just procedurally, why don't we do that? I'll entertain a motion to rescind the previous passing of the consent agenda. And actually, let's just do just the one motion for rescinding the previous
Right.
approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now in lieu of pulling 3.16, we'll be pulling 3.17. So I'll ask for a motion to pull 3.17 from the consent agenda resolution.
Right, so moved.
Okay, do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so now do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda less item 3.13 and 3.17?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, Richard.
Okay.
Please
Sorry
proceed
for
on
that
3.17.
confusion. Probably, it'll take less time to clarify it than it took to do all of that. But yeah, so it's 5135. And in this section, it's the first section titled Surveys. And there's a bullet list there. And these are types of information that parent-guardian consent would be required before requiring minors to participate in surveys gathering any of this type of information. And the second last bullet point, that begins religious practices, affiliations, or beliefs of the student with the student's parent guardian. I just don't know what with the student's parent guardian means. Beliefs of the student and the student's parent guardian?
It seems like with the student's parent guardian just shouldn't be there. And I think we clarified with.
Yeah, we should clarify that.
Yeah, I mean, in other words, the parent or guardian should be there while the student's completing the survey?
It reads that way, but let's get
Yeah.
clarity on that.
Yeah, because these surveys are administered are they usually taken home or are they administered in school? Yeah, could be in school, so the parent or guardian wouldn't be there necessarily. Yeah, so just clarify that, I think. That was it. For me.
Okay, so.
It's a first
why don't-
reading, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a first reading, so why don't we, does this have to be done before a certain date, or is this, okay. So why don't we just table 3.17 until the next meeting after we've had a chance to have some advice from legal counsel? Okay, thank you for that, Richard.
Mhm.
And, yeah, okay, motion to table 3.17.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Okay, so 3.13 is continuation of reserve funds. Mr. Cohen, what do you got?
I probably will not be, actually, I know I probably cannot get the answer to this tonight, but I just wanted to see how much we end up putting into the reserve funds once we know those numbers from October of this, whatever they end up being. If we know how much we're putting into them or how much we spent out of them this year, just so we have those numbers.
Absolutely, we definitely get how much we're putting into them as a result of the audit, because once we close the books and look at what we spent out of the reserves and look at the legal limits for each one of those different legal funds that we have, the district will put together some preliminary numbers, the auditors will look at them, vet them, make sure they're all within the legal limits, and that will be part of the financial statements that the auditors will present.
How do we pick which reserve funds we're putting the funds into?
Some of them have limits. And for example, there's a specific calculation for the teacher's retirement fund. There's a calculation that goes with that. For things like tax certs, we look at our potential liability of certs that are still outstanding. And the auditors and New York State allows us to go back 4 years, because usually we have repetitive certs for each school year. And we can get settlements that cross school. So that's how that calculation is made.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion to accept item 3.13.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Earlier with our consent agenda passing, item 3.09, we appointed a certified appointment. It was a part-time art teacher. And I believe Mr. Lewis has a few words to say to the board.
Hello, everybody. I'll be brief. So we welcome Miss Danielle Pravati to the position of the part-time art teacher at the high school. We've had this position for a number of years. Danielle comes to us. She wanted to be here tonight, but unfortunately she couldn't. She comes to us from Tuckahoe School District, and she relocated up here, so she wanted to, the part-time position fit her lifestyle better for her now. Most importantly for us, she's an amazing teacher. She's going to build this program. Right now, the part-time position is 2 ninth grade studio and art classes, and they're an introduction to art into the high school, and we're always looking for somebody that's going to really create a platform for students to develop their skills and have interest in art moving forward, because we have a plethora of courses that they can take as they move into their high school career, 10 through 12. And we are confident and excited that she is going to not only be successful in the classes, but build the program even further than it is right now. And we're super excited to have her, so thank you.
All right, thank you for sharing that. And welcome aboard, Danielle. Okay, that brings us to item 6.01, our Spack and Kill Celebration of Successes. I think we always say that this is our bittersweet time of the year, right? I think that's always the word we use. So, congratulations to all these folks that are moving on. But first, we're going to start off with Keith Bergen, and I believe that Val has some words to say.
Absolutely. It's definitely my pleasure to speak on behalf of Keith. Keith began his career in Spack and Kill in November of 2005 and spent the next 19 years keeping things running as our maintenance worker. And for most of that time, he was the sole maintenance worker that maintained all 4 of our school buildings. Keith has a depth of knowledge of all of the district's mechanical equipment, as well as the construction history of a lot of our buildings. For me, this was particularly valuable when I came into this new position and I needed to get familiar with the facilities and the operations side of the district. He also knows the history and the condition of all the equipment in the building, so if something went wrong, he's like, oh yeah, that happened last year, and this is what we did. So he's really good about that. Keith is always ready to help, and he has this cool, calm, collected demeanor. In all the years I've known him, I don't think I've ever heard him raise his voice for anybody. He's dependable and dedicated, but what's most memorable about Keith is his personality. He's a really big guy with a very easygoing disposition, and he's such a pleasure to work with. When he would come to district office, we were always excited to see him, whether he was there to, just kind of stop by and say hello, or put up a bulletin board, or hang a picture, or whatever we asked him to do. When I went around the district and asked people what they remember most about Keith, some of the responses I got were, and at least these are the ones that I can say publicly, that Keith has a quick wit. He would be sitting in a meeting and he would say the most outlandish things and sit with a straight face and look around like, oh, what, did I say something? Why is everybody laughing? He always had a joke, a smile, extremely easygoing, did anything we asked him. A pleasure to be around, and would be known to shoot rubber bands at people across the road. Keith, I hope you get a chance to see this video. We not only thank you for 19 years of dedicated service, but also for allowing us the pleasure of working with you and getting to know you. We will miss you, and we wish you only the very, very best as you start this new chapter.
Thank you, Val, and thank you, Keith. Carrie Spiegel.
Terry?
No, I'm just going in order here. The order I have. That's okay. That's okay. we're going to Terry DeMarco.
Okay. So, Mr. Dougherty and I are both going to speak on Terry's behalf tonight. I'll start. Tonight we celebrate someone who's truly special. Terry DeMarco has had unwavering dedication and compassion and care for all of her students as a teaching assistant. She is the model for what it means to be a teaching assistant. It's clear that Terry is someone who doesn't just work with students, she understands them. For countless children, she's been a steady hand, a gentle voice, and the person they trusted to help them and find their confidence as middle school students. Terry never sought the spotlight, but throughout Todd, everyone knew about her daily work and the world of difference that she made on students with special needs. Her work never went unnoticed, not by teachers who worked with her, not by parents who saw the positive changes in their children, and certainly not by students who knew that Terry was always there to help them in the classroom. Retirement is a farewell to alarm clocks and school bells, but it's not a farewell to the impact that you've made on students. Your kindness, dedication, and tireless belief in children has left a lasting legacy in our school, here at Todd, and on so many young lives. When your colleagues were asked to say a few things about you, they said that you're good with every single student, and it would take about 1,000 TAs to replace you. You keep adults in the building happy and smiling. You are a pillar of the school, and you are the go-to person to work issues out. I didn't know that. And you have amazing common sense. And your students keep saying that you cannot retire. The students have been in the best hands with you from the early morning bus duty throughout the school day and to your after-school supervision and to overnight field trips. Terry, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You will be deeply missed but never forgotten. May the next chapter be filled with peace, joy, and all the things that you've richly earned. Congratulations and happy retirement.
Terry, Mr. Rawls is here tonight because he's going to try to stop you from retiring, but unfortunately, it is bittersweet, but you have been, I've been here 10 years, and teaching assistants are very special people, and you are a special teaching assistant among that special group. Today I was thinking about you and about tonight, and it made me think of a Bruce Springsteen song, and the line in the song is, "When they built you, they broke the mold." And I couldn't remember the title of the song, and when I looked it up, it's called Terry's Song. That's the name of the song, which was appropriate, because that is the way I think, not just myself, but everybody who you've touched at Todd, you're one of a kind. What you brought to Todd is amazing. September of 2001 was when you came here, and in September of 2002, after a year, which I didn't know you can do this, she actually, in her application to be a teaching assistant, she requested that she would be Tom Kirschenheiter's teaching assistant, which I didn't even know that, but I don't know how that came about, but I know about the relationships that you've had with the Social Studies Department, with Tom and everybody else in the department, Chris, what you brought to the students through the Washington, D.C. trip and all of those trips that you've done. Sports will never be the same without you. Terry is the person who manages all of the students who stay for sports at Todd Middle School, which is usually somewhere between 50 and 100 every day. And that is a job that is not easy. And you've just been amazing. I don't know, the words that come to mind are you're kind, you're dependable, you're caring, you're intuitive, you were self-directed, you were versatile. You're always like the second teacher in the classroom, the second administrator in the hallway, and like the second mom to like all of these kids. I mean, that's really what you are and who you are. I'm not going to hear the words Beechwood, Nassau, Hagen, and Raker Road. Same. because I've been hearing you say those things
Oh, many years.
for the years I've been here. You were an informal mentor to dozens of TAs. You know, we don't have a mentoring program for TAs. We do have a mentoring program for TAs. Terry DeMarco was the mentoring program for TAs. And one last sweet of the bittersweet is I saw an application today. So we might see Terry here and there, which is a testament to who you are and what you've brought. So from the bottom of my heart, every faculty member's heart, every student's heart, every parent's heart, because the parents knew that in your hands your child was safe and cared for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Okay. Mr. D'Souza and I are going to both talk about Geraldine Lagasse. Today we honor Mrs. Geraldine Lagasse's incredible career in Spackenkill and the enormous impact that she's had on our students, especially our students with special needs. It's been an absolute pleasure working with Geraldine all of these years. The field of special education requires not only deep knowledge and skill, but a heart full of compassion and resilience. And she embodies what it means to be a special educator. Her co-taught classroom has always been a place where differences have been embraced, where progress is celebrated, no matter how small, or where every child is seen, heard, and valued. She's met her students exactly where they are, helping them grow in confidence and ability, and never giving up on them, even when things got tough. Being a fifth grade special educator, Geraldine always advocated for her students moving up to the next level, Orville A. Todd Middle School, so she always set them up for success. And she's been a source of wisdom and support for her colleagues in the department at Hagen, whether mentoring new teachers, collaborating on writing IEPs, or just listening on a hard day. She's made our school community stronger and kinder by her dedication and just being herself. She's always been somebody that I could count on to talk to openly and honestly, and I've always appreciated that. As she steps into the next chapter, we know she'll bring her warmth, her humor, and her generosity with her with all that she does, whether she's traveling, spending more time with her loved ones, or simply enjoying coffee in the morning. We thank you. Thank you for your years of service, your fierce love for your students, and your deep commitment to making the world a more inclusive place for everybody. You've made a difference that will be felt for years to come, and you'll always be part of our Spackenkill family. So thank you, and I wish you all the best.
So Geraldine is someone who didn't just make a career out of teaching, she made a life out of doing what's right for kids and making us laugh along the way. She didn't take the traditional path into education. Before she was writing IEPs, she was writing code, working in the corporate world as a computer programmer, eventually moving into management. But even amid promotions and paychecks, she felt the pull of the classroom. After 18 years, she did what so many dream of and few actually do. She followed her heart and made a total career change, trading business meetings for morning meetings. She started at Spackenkill 21 years ago, stepping into a lead position in a self-contained class at Nassau, and it was clear from the start Geraldine was meant to be here. Since then, she's held about every role in special education: self-contained, resource room, and of course, co-teacher. Over the years, she's partnered with Lisa Marcinelli, Deb Boyce, Ann Reel, and her longest and most celebrated teaching marriage, 11 years in 5th grade with Jen Wilson, who affectionately calls her my work wife. Their relationship is the kind that every co-teacher hopes for, based on trust, mutual respect, and a shared sense of humor, and the occasional and very necessary summer break from one another. As Jen says, I give her the beginning of the summer off from me because I know I can be a lot. Geraldine brought more than just instructional expertise, she had ability. As one colleague shared, she's the calm in any storm. Whether navigating changes in curriculum, unexpected schedule shifts, or just a tough Tuesday, Geraldine brought perspective, a steady hand, and often, thankfully, a well-timed joke. Geraldine's the kind of colleague who always has your back and your calendar. She's the reminder text before a faculty meeting, the person who knows what to wear for Spirit Week, and the one who gently nudges you to respond to that email, sign that card, and bring the right copies to the IEP meeting. She brings organization, professionalism, and a quiet calm to the classroom that balances out the chaos of daily school life. The kind of teacher who always has a plan, a backup plan, and probably laminated versions of both. She's described by her colleagues as trustworthy, quick-witted, humble, and a straight shooter. Even in her final year, when retirement was calling and the finish line was in sight, she didn't slow down. She stayed late, worked thoroughly, and continued to put students first. As one colleague said, her year this year defines who she is. Geraldine's life outside of the classroom has just outside of the classroom has been just as inspiring. Her passion for running isn't just a personal hobby, it's a gift she shared with the next generation. She helped coach and start the Junior Spartan running team, encouraging young runners to build confidence, endurance, and the joy of crossing the finish line. And speaking of running, her retirement plans are anything but slow-paced. Geraldine is looking forward to traveling, including a trip to Ireland this fall to visit family and tour the countryside. She continues to plan and run for the Sparrow's Nest, and she has set her sights on competing in the London Marathon in 2026. Eventually, she and her husband Dale will head down south to the beaches of North Carolina, where she hopefully won't have to text anyone at 6:45 to remind them it's pajama day. Geraldine, your legacy at Spack and Kill is one of purpose, professionalism, and just the right amount of sarcasm. You've helped students feel supported, taught colleagues how to navigate the ins and outs of special education, and built a true partnership in teaching that many admire. You are the calm in the storm, the keeper of the calendar, the quiet force that makes a big difference without ever needing credit. We will miss your grounded presence, your quick wit, and yes, your morning reminders. Thank you for showing us how to serve kids with heart and humor. Enjoy every moment that comes next, because you've earned it.
Thank you, Geraldine. Diane McCarron.
All right, thank you, everybody. Ms. McCarron. I have the pleasure of speaking about 3 individuals here tonight that, for me personally, in my career here at Spack and Kill, I feel very connected to. I've always had positive energy, a lot of warmth, a lot of just support coming from them, and it's also interesting that we're losing 3 people from 3 of the major departments, teaching assistant teacher and secretarial staff. So we'll start with Ms. McCarron. Her extraordinary career, a highly respected science teacher, and a pillar of the Spack and Kill community. Throughout her time here, Diane has taught a wide range of courses, sharing her deep knowledge and passion for science with generations of students. She concludes her career teaching AP Biology and Forensics, and the thing about those courses is that they're really, you only foster interest in those courses through your own teaching style and your own energy. And sometimes those courses fail and we pick other ones, and Forensics in particular is one of our most popular courses still to this day, and it will continue to be in the department because the entire department cares so much about it, and Diane is to thank for that. They're 2 of the most rigorous and engaging classes in our curriculum. Her ability to challenge students while inspiring curiosity and critical thinking is what has set her apart from the beginning. Diane's impact goes far beyond the classroom. She is, without question, a person of deep integrity and unwavering character. Someone who commands respect not by demanding it, but by modeling it every single day. She's the kind of colleague, mentor, and friend that we all strive to be: steady, thoughtful, kind, and committed. Her work has helped shape the science department into what it is today, one of the most successful and well-respected in New York State. From curriculum development to mentorship, Diane's influence has been foundational, quietly building a legacy of excellence that will continue to benefit our students long after she retires. Diane, your dedication, professionalism, and strength of character have made you a cornerstone of Spackenkill High School, and we are endlessly grateful for the example you've set and countless lives you've touched. And especially for me, I will miss you dearly. I have just always looked to you as a pillar of what professionalism is and just a good person is, so you will be dearly missed.
Julie Moore.
So losing these two people is Hagen is gonna feel very different next year, and we know that. So celebrating Geraldine and Julie, it's tough. It is bittersweet, as people keep saying. But Julie is the heart and soul of Hagen Elementary. Julie was hired at Spackenkill in July of 1990, straight out of SUNY Cortland. She never subbed, never worked in another district. One interview, one job, and 30 unforgettable years later, here we are. Hagen was her first professional home, and she spent her entire 30 years making it feel like home for everyone else. Over the years, Julie has taught 3rd grade, 5th grade, including a legendary year of full remote, and spent the last 11 years as an AIS math teacher. For 12 years, she's also served as our grades 3 through 5 math curriculum coordinator. But titles don't tell the whole story. Julie is, without exaggeration, kind of a math whisperer. She doesn't just teach math, she understands exactly what kids need developmentally to succeed. She meets them where they are and somehow helps them believe they're better at math than they ever thought possible. Of course, she's not just known for her math mind. Julie is the unofficial birthday fairy of Hagen. If you work here, chances are your birthday has been acknowledged by a sweet treat by Julie. And if you were really lucky, that treat was one of her legendary chocolate chip cookies, which, according to a very scientific poll, are hands down the best at Hagen. She once even dropped off cookie dough, not cookies, mind you, but dough, to help entertain a colleague's kids while their household was in quarantine. That's Julie, thoughtful, hilarious, and always showing up in the most loving ways. She also wears her heart on her sleeve, and that's the one thing we love most about her. Julie's students love seeing her during morning duty, running towards her for their morning hug, because they know she'll give it, and because they know she means it. There's no performance. What you see is what you get, and what we've gotten for 30 years is a teacher who cares deeply, laughs loudly, and always helps us put life and teaching into perspective. When I was hired as the principal of Hagen, I was extremely nervous to be introduced to the Hagen staff. I had taught at the high school, I only knew high school, and I got an email from one person over the weekend that made me feel a sense of calm, and that was Julie. And she said, "Dear Clayton, I want to congratulate you on your new position and let you know I'm looking forward to working with you. Hagen is a great place to be, and I know you will be happy in your new home." She couldn't have been more spot on. She just reminds us that the heart of education isn't the paperwork or the pacing guides, but the connections we make, the cookies we share, and the hugs we give at 8:30 in the morning. Of course, no tribute to Julie would be complete without a nod to her unforgettable sense of humor. Always ready to lighten the mood with a perfectly timed look, a quick comment, or a face that says everything without saying a word. Let's just say if you've ever made a slightly ill-advised announcement into a microphone at Sharp, Julie probably made eye contact with you and instantly said, "Did you really just say that?" And from the moment on, you knew it was never going to be forgotten. Some moments become inside jokes, and when Julie's involved, those moments are just more than laughter. They're about the connection, the shared history, and the ability to find joy in the ordinary. As she heads into the retirement, Julie is finally free from the two things that have haunted her for decades: Sunday nights and the entire month of August. She's looking forward to long mornings in her garden, afternoons with audiobooks, and guilt-free vacations that don't depend on the school calendar. Julie Morin leaves behind a legacy of laughter, love, and learning. She's shown us what it means to teach with the heart, to lead with kindness, and to be there for each other in the classroom, in the lobby, and sometimes with cookie dough at the door. We love you, Julie. You will always be a part of the fabric of Hagen, and definitely a legend in the baking department. Enjoy every moment of this next chapter. You've more than earned it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Julie. Deborah Ruggiero.
I now get to recognize Miss Deborah Ruggiero, teaching assistant at the high school. Similar to what we've talked about prior, Deb, for me, when I came into the high school as an AP, I would look at her and what she would do as a teaching assistant, and I would use that as the standard for everybody else and kind of like how I would define the role of a teaching assistant in the school. Those roles are some of the most difficult roles in the school, at least in the high school, I'm sure in every other school here too, because you have to be so flexible and you have to understand psychology of children, but you also have to understand how the teacher wants to run their class, and you have to be respectful of what their wants are and then what your needs are and how you define yourself in your role. And all of that was all new to me because I never had to really interact with teaching assistants in my prior administration role. So I always looked to Deb to kind of guide my view of what the exceptional teaching assistant is. I recognize her incredible contributions. She's a dedicated teaching assistant who has been an essential part of Spackenkill High School, especially within the science department. Ms. Ruggiero is the definition of dependable. Her discipline and sense of responsibility have made her a go-to resource for both students and staff. Teachers have relied on her for not only support in the classroom, but for her insight, initiative, and the steady presence she brings every single day. And I just want to highlight the steady presence because that's what she is. Every day I'm in the halls and I see things, positive, negative things, and Ms. Ruggiero is often always there, and she's always a steady presence for me. And in these roles, you have to, you interact with people that center you in moments of chaos, and she is one of them. She approaches work with a genuine willingness to learn, constantly engaging with new content, asking questions, staying current so she can better serve the students she supports. Whether working one-on-one or in small groups, she meets students where they are, helping them understand challenging material and build confidence in their abilities. She's a teaching assistant who every day after school is always with students in the classroom. Her contributions go far beyond the classroom, though. She's always stepped up, covering classes, chaperoning events, volunteering for after-school supervision, and saying yes whenever there was a need. Her reliability has made her a cornerstone for our daily operations and an example for others. In the science department, Deb has become more than a support, she's a staple. Her work with students is truly on par with some of our best teachers, and the positive impact she's had in our school community is immeasurable. We're deeply grateful for your commitment, care, and the difference you've made in the lives of so many. I just can't say enough about how much Deb has interacted with students. She brings concerns to me, positive, negative. She kind of keeps me in the loop. We have a new teaching assistant that will be starting next year, and I gave her a tour around the building. Deb pulled her into the teaching assistant office, showed her all her binders, said if you end up in earth science, here's everything I'll leave for you. Just wanting to leave as much as her legacy behind and be a resource for the future coming up in Spackenkill. It will not be forgotten, and from my heart, thank you for all you do for Spackenkill.
Thank you, Deborah.
I'm gonna tag team this with Mr. Lynch.
I already announced this one, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I did
I did
already.
already.
Terry Spiegel.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all the retirees tonight. It's my pleasure and honor to recognize and celebrate Ms. Carrie Spiegel. Don't make me emotional, please. I ran into somebody on Monday night at flag football, and it was a former student, probably 20 years ago, and they said, "We're losing a legend. We're losing a legend." I first met Ms. Spiegel in June of 2007. I'd just been hired at Spack and Kill. My start date wasn't until July, but I happened to be able to get to the June Hagen Field Day. I was blown away. This was my first experience of Spack and Kill Phys Ed. It was an incredibly elaborate, well-organized, and full of energy. Activities and the theme were great, but what impressed me most was Carrie herself. Her energy, her enthusiasm, and especially her connection with the students. That day stuck with me. 18 years later, I can honestly say nothing's changed. She's ageless. Carrie still brings that same excitement, passion, and heart to everything she does. She regularly attends local and state PE conferences every year, always returning with fresh ideas to enhance her lessons and elevate our elementary PE curriculum. And most recently, she began presenting at those conferences and sharing her knowledge with young up-and-coming teachers. In 2023, she was named the New York State AFERD Southeastern Zone Amazing Person, a title that truly fits. This award honors individuals who have made exceptional contributions to their profession, and Carrie, I can honestly say you've done that. Your impact on Spack and Kill, on students, on all of us is immeasurable. On behalf of the entire PE department, thank you. Thank you for your passion, your dedication, your creativity, and most importantly, your heart. We wish you the best on your well-deserved retirement, and I hope to see you up at Scroon Lake on the snowmobile trails. I'll tell a little story. About 8 years ago, I got into snowmobiling. My brother-in-laws took me up to Scroon Lake. I'm on a trail and I'm lost. I'm looking for my brother-in-laws. There was an off-trail at a restaurant where I was going to meet them. So I see this group with their helmets on the side. I pull over to the side of the trail. Sure enough, person takes her helmet off. It's Carrie Spiegel. I take my helmet off. She was just as surprised to see me as I was her. She goes, "Make her right." She knew right where to go. So I wish you many years of enjoying upstate and enjoying the lake. And then my mother-in-law bought a house a mile away from where Carrie is. So this isn't goodbye. This is we'll see you upstate. Congratulations.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all the retirees. So it's my pleasure to say a few words about Carrie as well. I'll start off by just talking about Carrie's energy and her passion. So those who have been at a K-2 building, and I actually was a teacher in upper elementary, and I like to think that upper elementary is a very high energy place. I really didn't know what that meant until I started at Nassau. And you can't, especially in the gym, have an off day. And I can honestly say all of the times I've seen Carrie outside or in the gymnasium, she's never had an off day, and she's never had an off period. She is always bringing it, and that's impressive. Carrie's poured passion, love, and an incredible sense of dedication into everything that she does. Whether leading a gym class or dancing through the hallways with her mobile speaker, she's always brought her whole heart to this work that she does. If you've ever walked our halls during a holiday or any other special day, you know what I mean. Carrie's become kind of famous for her costumes and her dancing spirit, and the way she turns just an ordinary day into a celebration. The kids literally light up when they see her. Her music, movement, and presence has been a source of energy and happiness for both students and staff for many years. The other thing I want to touch on, the board has heard a lot about the pumpkin run and the turkey trot and all of these other walking challenges that we do. Carrie's been a staple on our health and wellness committee and really been a leader in all of the events that we've done over the years. But I would say the thing I was most impressed with happened just a few weeks ago. And so I was in a meeting in the office, and I saw a group of high school students go up to Carrie outside and saw them embrace. It was an emotional moment. And, you know, when you think about when you get to the end of your career, and I would say especially as a K-2 educator, because, you know, you're teaching kids when they're 5, 6, 7 years old, and they're graduating, they're 18 years old. It's a long time to remember back exactly what your teachers said and did and how they made you feel. And so I started asking around, like, what's going on? What are these students doing? And they were telling her that they wanted her to be the 2025 commencement speaker at graduation. So that made me think of, you know, the famous Maya Angelou quote, and the quote goes like this, if you haven't heard it. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And Carrie, they certainly didn't forget how you made them feel. Thank you for everything, and congratulations on your retirement. You've left a lasting legacy. Now take all those old costumes and that rolling speaker you love and ride off, I guess, next to Marco. I didn't know this. I knew they were close, but, you know, take it on that snowmobile and enjoy that next chapter up in the North Country. Congratulations, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie.
Again.
So last but not least, we have Sherry Ulrich.
All right, so we are celebrating someone dear to my heart, the retirement of someone whose quiet dedication has had an enormous impact on the day-to-day life of Spackenkill High School. Our very own attendance clerk, Ms. Sherry Ulrich. I have said, for me, one of the most important aspect of school for learning is safety, and you can't have a safe school if you don't know where the kids are and where the staff is. I can't stress enough that the attendance is, I mean, I'll say this again, but it's the heartbeat of the school, and I have personally seen when you don't have a structured, serious approach to attendance and what that can do to a school culture. And I would be lying if I would say I wasn't concerned about what it's going to look like moving forward without Ms. Ulrich in charge. We're working on plans to make sure that we have someone that can rise to the same standard that Ms. Ulrich has in her career here, because being honest, when I came to Spackenkill, the first thing I noticed was the attendance, and just through lots of different school experiences, I just was like blown away by how organized and how structured and how serious she took that piece. And I don't think that people necessarily realize how important that role is unless something goes wrong. And we always hope that that doesn't happen, but Sherry has taken on so many different roles in that role, and she has been the forefront of the communication at the high school with parents, and sometimes she's dealt with some negative interactions with that and some people not understanding why they have to submit the doctor's note or why they need to submit that or that, and she gets the brunt of that, and she has always stood by her integrity and the structure of the school and the policies so that we can have a safe school, and that's what's most important. For years, she has been the heartbeat of our front office, and although the attendance office in our school is not in our front office, it is very much an appendage of it, and she's always helped in our office as well in the mornings. Her attention to detail has been nothing short of exceptional, a quality that's been absolutely vital when it comes to state reporting, maintaining accurate records, and ensuring everything runs like clockwork. Her precision hasn't just met expectations, it is the standard. Sherry's role went far beyond data and numbers. She's built strong, respectful relationships with our families and students, always offering a calm presence and a listening ear. Whether navigating a complicated attendance issue or helping a student get back on track, Sherry brought warmth, professionalism, and consistency to every interaction. Her work has also been essential to the safety and organization of our building in ways both seen and unseen. And I need to highlight the unseen because there's so much of what she does that just kind of branches out into every other aspect of the school. She's helped create an environment where students can focus on learning, families can feel reassured, and staff can rely on a foundation of order and care. Your presence, Sherry, will be greatly missed, not just for what you did, but for how you did it. Thank you for your years of service, your commitment, and the legacy of excellence you leave behind. And I truly mean that. Walking into Spackenkill High School the first time, I noticed two things, and it was the hallways were pretty, I hate using this word, but quiet for most of the time. And I could not believe how organized and accurate the attendance is. And that really doesn't happen in other districts. And our state reporting shows it. And I just think that is a testament to the integrity of you, your professionalism, and how much you cared about your role. And thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Would want to say any words? No?
So this is definitely one of my favorite parts about being Spackenkill is, and I say this every year with it, I can't imagine being able to do something like this in a Wappingers or in Arlington, of being able to recognize our incoming teachers, our retiring teachers, or special moments like this at such a large district, and the intimacy that we're able to share here in Spackenkill, being such a small community, and doing something like this really shines at events like this. It's one of my favorite meetings of the year, listening to all the memories and all that you've all accomplished and done in your careers. It brings goosebumps when we get to listen to this. So I appreciate all that you've done for the district, for all the kids that you've helped, and thank you so much for tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay. Anyone else?
Thank you for your dedication and enjoy retirement.
Yeah, I'd certainly like to thank as well all the teachers and assistants and staff who are leaving us tonight. I've been fortunate, myself and my wife, that our children have had the opportunity to to learn and be supported by many of you, but I feel so fortunate that all of our district's children are so clearly loved and supported. I think the overriding feeling I have on a night like this is that everyone in our community would have an opportunity to listen to this. The level of dedication and professionalism and integrity and expertise that your colleagues testify to and applaud, are one thing, but what really stands out so much, I think, on a night like this is the warmth and the support and the love that you show the students, the children in our building, the children who our parents in our community entrust, to the district. And I just feel such affection and such gratitude for our community as a whole. I think our community is so fortunate to have the kind of people that you all are helping and supporting our children. And again, I just hope our community really appreciates this and can see the level of commitment that you all bring. But with that commitment, just a sense of affection and support, the warmth in this room and the warmth that you all feel for one another is just, I think, so outstanding. And I hope our community understands and appreciates that. So thank you so much, and best of luck and enjoyment in your retirement.
Thank you for your dedication, the time that you put into the kids in this community. You touched so many of their lives, and they won't forget it. I know that I won't forget it, and enjoy retirement. Thank you.
And I'll just add thank you to our speakers for sharing those memories and the stories and the praise. And it's really great for us to have that insight of the connections that you've all made over the years. And the community absolutely is grateful for this. All the work that you've done over the years has put us all in a better place, and we'll be forever in your gratitude for that. So we appreciate that. Best of luck and wishes and everything that you do in future endeavors. Okay, so item 7.01 is board correspondence, and I have none. So we'll move on to 7.02. Do we have any comments from the public on non-agenda items? Okay. 7.03, comments from the board. Anyone?
Something I'd like to say already.
I think I just mentioned one thing there. The administration has worked very hard in the past year to start addressing cell phone policy, and then the state comes down with a budget and puts in rules that there's no cell phones bell to bell. So that kind of throws a little monkey wrench into all the planning that the school's done in the last year. And the board, by mandate from the state, we have to have a policy in place by August 1st now. So that means we're probably going to end up having 2 July meetings, so we can have a first reading and a second reading. There's a little possibility that we might have a first reading in the second June meeting, and could maybe avoid a second July meeting, but just be prepared for that. And if there's anything that the board wants to add in, because there's basically a template that the state put out, but the district is in charge of dealing with the hows. So how do we enforce the bell to bell? That's up to us. So if you have any thoughts about it, you can share them with Sandra, and she can pass them on to the attorneys, and we'll have a first reading soon. Okay, with that, I'm going to ask for a motion to recess. So the board will vote to recess for a celebration of staff retirements. Following the recess, the board will vote to enter executive session for the purpose of discussing the superintendent's evaluation. No further business is anticipated after the executive session. Do I have a motion to recess? Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that passes 5-0. Thank you.